this service. I'm here as a representative of the Society of American Magicians, the International Brotherhood of Magicians, the Texas Association of Magicians, and of course this Magic Club, as a humble spokesman of its members and friends of Paul Siegel. The one we spoke with yesterday is silent today. A friend we walked with has gone on without us. We shall miss and remember him. No greater tribute can be paid to anyone than this, that he lives on in the hearts and esteem of his friends. This is the time that we usually make a few remarks and talk about Paul a little bit. I think the thing that I'm going to miss most about Paul is getting those phone calls, those random phone calls saying, hey, you got a minute? It's like he was about to tell me the secrets of the universe. You know, he had just thought of something that would be perfect for me, and it was just kind of like a secret. You know, you got a minute? I got something I want to share with you. And I said, sure. And sometimes he'd come over and share it with me. Sometimes it was a magazine article from the 30s, or not 30s, but the 40s or 50s that he had come across in his massive collection. And sometimes it was just a trick that he'd been thinking of. More often than not, it was how I could do something that I was already doing and make it a little better. So that's what I'm going to miss. That's what I do miss most about Paul. Getting those just random phone calls. Hey, you got a minute? So, anybody else have anything they'd like to say? I'd like to give the mic over. Yes, come on up, please.
Can you hear me? Okay, cool. So I know that like a good grand majority of you don't know who I am. I am Paul Siegel's granddaughter. Had that proud honorification for almost 9 years. Sorry, I don't do speeches well, but I wanted to try this. Paul was just made of magic and mystery. I don't know how many of you got the opportunity to meet him or talk to him or get to listen to him, but he was a man of few words with big impact. And one of my favorite memories that I had, I don't know how old I was, right, because time tends to kind of fall away from me the older you get, but I had to have been around like 5 or 6, and I used to hate eating breakfast, as most kids do. And he had rolled oats, which are probably like the worst breakfast food for a 6-year-old. So he would make them out of like that little can that had the Quaker man on it, and I would just hate it. And he would do this like magic trick that, I mean, looking back on it, obviously it wasn't, but I think he must have had some sort of a fake thumb or a real thumb, I don't know. But he would like put sugar in without having ever touched the sugar bowl, and he would just like make it sweet. Or like one Sunday I remember that he would just put peaches in, and I never saw a peach. Don't know when he cut the peach, have no idea where it came from, but it was just peaches and oatmeal. And I had been watching him the entire time. So I just always grew up with magic. Like it was just like it was real. And I didn't get an opportunity as I got older to ask him how he did it. And to be quite honest, I don't think that he would have told me, because magic is to be experienced and it's to be enjoyed, and you just get it. And if you don't, then you just get to be one of those lucky people that get to experience it and enjoy it. We're honored here tonight to be able to have said that we knew Paul Siegel, a magician, a master of his craft, a wordsmith, and a mystery man. So, thank you.
Anybody else want to say something? What about Paul? Paul Siegel. As a magician, you wielded a wand, the ancient emblem of mystery. It symbolized the magic power that was yours as you use your knowledge of magic secrets. Your skill and your skill in the I can never say that word. It's where I always get messed up. Okay, and your skill. Now the power is gone. It's a mere stick devoid of all meaning and authority. It is useless without your hand to wield it. Fellow compeers, may the broken wand symbolize our submission to the mandate of the supreme magician, to whom all secrets are known, even life and death. Into the surety of his love, we commit to keeping our brother, Paul Siegel.
And now to honor Paul, Mike Squires is here to teach us one of his tricks. Let's give it up for Mike Squires.
We're kind of in this reversal technique. If I'd been there earlier, I could have set all this up, and that's going to be Keith's trick instead of I'll give you an idea of what's going on. This is something really kind of fun that we came up with. Like Dal said, you know, you get these calls. Paul lived like about a minute from Magic Land, so it was pretty common to go to Magic Land and then Lord Paul's house, and he'd call, and I mean, it used to be you get a call, you didn't know who it was. Now you know every time somebody's calling. It's never a mystery. But he would call, and I'd say it's Paul Siegel, and then he would still introduce himself, like, "Oh my, it's Uncle Paul," and then he'd have something to say about, you know, have you been thinking about this? There's a book. Have you heard of this book? There was a few books that he was really proud of just knowing about, you know, being involved in some, I guess, sort of underground mentalism books. And I wanted to show you two things. One is from one of his books. Actually, if you don't have, I'm going to pitch it real quick. There's 3 books. These are what they look like. I believe in order they are, I think it's Windows to the Mind, which is the nicest down one. And then I think the next one is Mentalism on a Load, and then Doorways to Illusion, each of these 3 that he wrote. And they all have a lot of interesting approaches to mentalism tricks. Now, the fun thing about books, magic books to me, is that oftentimes you go into a book because it has a genre to it, in the sense that these are all going to be stage tricks, or these are all going to be close-up tricks, or his were just, these are all tricks I think about. So some of them may have been a one-on-one trick, some of them may have been something that he could perform on a stage. Did you bring that up? Okay, so some of them are larger stage apparatus. This is something that is not in one of his books, but we talked about it, and I ended up performing it at one of Brent's shows. I think it's kind of, it's a really simple way to do a trick that a lot of you are familiar with. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Well, maybe I will. So I have a Confederate back here. This is Eddie. Everyone say hi, Eddie.
Hi.
He's secret back here. No one knows he's here. I don't have my pen, so that's going to make it harder. I'll use it. I have a pen. I don't have my marker. I'm sorry. Perfect.
One of those is going to be good. I don't know which.
One of them is good. One of them is fake. You're a true mentalist. All right. Let's see here. Okay, cool. So. All right. Don't worry about him. I know. So let's say that we came up with a number. Actually, I guess I do need that other marker. No, piece of paper. Yeah. Oh, perfect. A mentalist Mini pad. Okay. So I need a random single digit number. John. 6. Just like we practiced. It is. It's the first one. The next one may be the same. All right. Another single digit number. 3. Yeah, that's not what we said. And then it's reversed. Right. 5. 6, 3, 5. Okay. And then we'll face this way. 6, 3, 5. Mark. 2. Daryl. 4. And then let's see. 1. All right. 6, 3, 5. 2, 4, 1. 6, 3, 5, 2. Random numbers. Now the people I chose were at random. You have no reason to believe you that they were at random, but I did just sort of choose people that were in front of me. And then we wrote down these numbers so you can see them right here on this. Now, when I first started this trick, or before I did, I came out and I showed you, well, I didn't even show you, I just kind of deliberately pasted an envelope up or taped it up on the wall. So, let's see. Just going to share real quick. All right. All these chairs are usually clipped together and you can't take them apart. You can't take them apart now. So, now the interesting thing about this is, oh, that's the wrong one. So, look at it. Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. So, let's do 6, 3, 5, 2, 4, 1. Amazing.
Wow.
One of our foremost mentalists in the back, showing his approval. So I thought this was really kind of a fun thing, and obviously I should practice it more. But we talked a lot about this type of thing, just how to. This is mentalism on a budget, to me. But it's kind of a cool device. It's a simple device, and if used properly, it's a fooling device. But it's just a change chair. If you've never heard of a change chair, so this is something we kind of came up with as a. And surprisingly, this has stayed on through travel and storing in the attic. It's still, I don't even know what we used to put on there, but essentially, you have your person in the back. Load the chair. Now when we did it at Brent's, I had it way up high, came out and it sort of was up here and talked for a minute and fumbled around with it. And then when you come down, this was Paul's version of how this works. When you come down, put it in, and then you just grab the other one when you take your hand off. So using your hand to kind of stabilize it gives you that really cool or simple way of changing down. Of course, it needs to be like that the whole time, but otherwise it's pretty good. So that was something that Paul and I sort of worked on a little bit. That's the type of thing that we worked on. The other thing that's in the book, I know that.
First of all, for the change chair.
Unfortunately, I don't rehearse this. This is a good one-on-one, or one on maybe at a table. You take a whole bowl of multicolored chips. So you could do this easily with poker chips. It's kind of a cool little trick. But so what I'll do is, well, here, normal. They came out of Eddie's gambling table. Some people have a lemonade stand. So, let's see. Now what I'll do is I will run through. I'm going to take one. And, okay, this one's a blue. No. This one's blue. Okay, cool. Okay, it gets slower.
amazing it worked.
Find another one. You have to have some dexterity to do this probably. Grab another one. This one's green. Okay, good. Green. Let's see. This one is black. Black. And then this one is. It's fun to watch them explain this. This was black as well. Okay. And then this one's going to be white. So it's a fun, it's an easy trick. What I like about this is that you can do it you don't have to have a lot of equipment. And you can do it with stuff that you find in someone's house. It doesn't have to be these. It could be anything that you have 5 or 6 of, color-wise, and then several of each one of those. But it's an interesting problem. But what you do is you buy a book. So you start out with one of the chips in a paper clip just so you can mark it really easily. And I just clipped it in the beginning. But it's just a one-ahead principle with a little bit of a column. So you start out and you have the red one here, and when you go back here, you pick one out, push the red one forward, which I forgot to do, and then clip another one. So the one you actually draw is the one you're going to remember. And just pull this one out and do that. So you just go through each one after another. It's not a totally baffling trick unless you're in the perfect atmosphere at someone's house with their set of poker chips and just a little bit of setup. So it's not one of those things that was made to fool 100 people or 50 people or whatever it is. It's one of those things that it can be very impactful for a small group of people, which we all know is also fantastic. Yes.
I think Teo, 2 years ago, when we were in someone saying he taught a person that using M&Ms.
M&Ms?
Yeah, and you tore off the top or part of the corner and
Yeah.
it back, and that was the reason when you brought that forward to get it down to the first one.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, you could, if you tore, well, now to hack with that one, you could tear off with the M&M in that corner, right? And then you get the,
Yeah, I think
that's what you got to do. Cool. Anyway, so those are just a window to the mind. Paul Siegel.
The books are still the books are still available, but you're going to have a lot of trouble. I have a full set myself, courtesy of these gentlemen. I have a full set, and I have one extra of one of the books. I don't know which one it is, but good luck finding them. It's hard to find them out on the net, and I've tried.
Did I give you the one that was signed to Paul back?
I think so.
Okay. Good, because that's one. But
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in here. There's some cool apparatus too to build. I've always liked that too. When you find something that no one makes, but there's plans. And Paul was not just a great thinker in mentalism, but he was also a great artist. And so the pictures in his books are really fantastic,
Yeah.
and very detailed, and like you would see an engineer do. So there's really good plans to make some things. And I think is Mark next?
No, well, yeah, in just a few minutes, we're gonna mention Ted.
Oh, okay.
Then
Okay.
Arthur's next.
no.
Because it's a Paul thing.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
It's a Paul thing. So Mark has something. Did you build this or?
No. As many of you may know, I have the most extensive magic collection in Murphy, Texas. And one of my prized possessions was given to me by Uncle Paul. And it's the mental tag.
Oh yeah, I was going to build that. I'm glad you got that.
So you can look at it and see how it should be built. And in fact, it was featured on the November 1968 MUM.
He gave it to me tonight.
Yeah.
We were looking for that at the house. We couldn't find it. Now we know why.
You know how many years it's been since I've seen this illusion? Oh my God.
But what's interesting is on this MUM, mental tag is described inside it. You know, how it works and everything, and the basic effect, and I would would have performed it for you, because last time, several years ago when I was here with it, I performed it, but I have a torn rotator cuff and stuff, so, and I'm on 5 prescriptions, so I probably would mess it up. But essentially, you show 10 discs, and as shown in the picture that Frank brought, there are 2 sets of 5 geometric figures. You hand them out to a spectator who examines them and then sets them down on a table face down. You separate them because they're numbered 1 to 5 on the patch. You separate them out. You pick up 1 through 5 and you place them on, and then you pick up one of them and ask the spectator which of the numbers they want it on. You place it on, and then when you turn them around, they match. One like this, and since this is quasi-teach it, and hey, you have to have more skill than I do if you're going to build it, but essentially, you have a little fake here that goes on just like this, and you can't tell the difference. So when you're putting theirs on, it can be anything, and it goes over, and then when you take it off, you just take both of them off and show it like that. So it's pretty clever. Works real well. He explains exactly how to do it.
I think when you turn it over and you re-hang it, it indexes properly, yeah.
But now Uncle Paul was president of the club when this issue was, but he'd been, several other offices and such. But I wanted to just okay. He was Magician of the Month. And there's a nice article in here, and what I'll do is I'll scan it and send it to Brad so he can include it in the next Wizard Scroll. But I just wanted to point out one of his favorite stories, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's several paragraphs, but he goes, he was approached by Neiman Marcus for some high-end party they were doing, with tons of people and bands and everything. And so he and several other of the Dallas Magic Club members went to perform in this, and they wanted them performing both stage and close-up non-stop through this thing. So like while the band's playing, they're out doing the close-up. As soon as the band would take a 10-minute break, they'd jump up and they'd perform on the stage. And he goes, it went over really well, but I like this. In the process of the evening, they gave away 36 rabbits, 18 doves, and 60 baby chicks. I don't know about you, but I would have loved to have been there and seen what they were doing, that they gave away that much livestock. So,
I wanted to see where they kept it.
Yeah. Chuck had the problem.
And that's not right.
but, and you've heard, for those of us who've been in the club a long time, it was Uncle Paul. And I mean, I just cherish the conversations we would have. If you do buy the books, don't be surprised if one trick in each book doesn't work as described in it, because Paul purposely would write it so it wouldn't work. And he wanted people to reach out to him saying, hey, I looked at this and it didn't seem to work right when I tried it. And then he'd tell them the little thing they needed to do.
That goes to the raffle.
Yeah.
From Mike Squires and Mark Gibson.
And he was the
Tonight, we
best.
also just want to mention Ted Gillum that we lost last month during May, and just take a few moments and remember him. With that, we're going to go on to Marshall Brodeen.
Gee, I guess that's me again.
That's you.
This is, every year, the older you get, the tougher it seems to be the people we lose.